Hi, my name is Tara Danahy, and I will be reviewing one of my current students for this case study. The student I will be discussing throughout this semester includes an 18-year-old female who was diagnosed with Smith-Magenis syndrome. Smith-Magenis syndrome is a developmental disorder that affects behavior, emotions, and learning processes. The major features of this condition include distinctive facial features, sleep disturbances, behavioral problems, mild to moderate intellectual disability, and delayed speech and language skills. This information was gathered from the U.S. National Library of Medicine, last updated in 2023. She is a sociable, funny, and charming young woman. I've been an absolute pleasure working with for the past 2 years as her assigned RBT at a private special education school. Her behaviors include aggression, which is defined as any instance or attempt of hitting an individual with an open hand, kicking, grabbing, and or pulling another individual's hair. Examples include verbal protest of academic work and hits her instructor in the face. A non-example is tapping her instructor's shoulder to get their attention. Self-injury, any instance or attempt of hitting her head with her hands, banging her head on the floor and or hard surfaces, biting her toes or toenails and or picking her fingers and fingernails until they bleed. Example is verbal protest and hitting her head on the wall. Non-example includes accidentally bumping her head while climbing through a tunnel on the playground. Property destruction, any instance or attempt of ripping, throwing, swiping, pushing, and breaking objects in the environment, as well as inappropriately pouring out liquids onto the table, the floor, iPad, etc. An example of this is ripping a book in half after being given a task demand. A non-example would be working on writing and accidentally breaks the tip of her pencil. Disrobing, any instance or attempt in which she removes her clothing that is on her body without being instructed to do so. An example is yelling and pulling her pants down after being given a direction. A non-example would be working at her desk and takes off her shoes. Behavioral episode, the amount of time she displays 2 or more target behaviors concurrently. Each episode will begin once she engages in 2 or more target behaviors, and the time will end of the absence of the target behavior for 30 seconds. An example could be protesting working with a new staff member, swipes materials off her desk, and drops to the floor while hitting and kicking staff members for 3 minutes. A non-example would be verbal protest academic work, but she takes 3 deep breaths. So the school I work for typically conducts functional behavioral assessments, or FBAs, as the standard for all of our new students. We use FBAs because it gives a full picture of multiple different methods of measurement to hypothesize the function of the target behavior or behavior of concern. This student's FBA consisted of both indirect and direct observation methods. Indirect observation methods included a record review, a functional assessment screening tool, or the FAST, motivation assessment scale, also known as the MASS, the Alpine Student Survey. So the FAST consists of 16 yes or no questions, which help to identify factors that may influence the function of the target behavior, while the MASS consists of 16 questions, which describe specific situations and the specific rate of how likely the target behaviors are to occur. The Alpine Student Survey presents a series of questions that guide the interviewer through potential precursors, antecedents, and consequences, as well as identifying preferred reinforcers that the student or client may be interested in. The direct observation methods included 4 observations of the student in her natural environment in the school setting across 4 different people working one-on-one with her, 4 different days and times. Summary of the baseline data that was collected across 18 school days, and ABC data. So the results of the FBA concluded that aggression, self-injury, disrobing, property destruction, and the behavioral episode all had the same primary functions of behavior, including social attention, escape from tasks and demands, as well as access to tangibles. The only differing behavior function was self-injury, which resulted in a secondary function of automatic or sensory, specifically for toe biting and toenail biting, finger or fingernail biting or picking, which is a common associated trait with individuals with Smith-Magenis syndrome. Staff also reported that she is likely to engage in maladaptive behaviors when she's working with preferred. She's least likely to engage in maladaptive behaviors when she's working with preferred staff members and actively engaged in highly motivating activities. The Alpine student survey, the student reported that sometimes work is difficult or is too difficult for her and prefers to receive more recognition for her good work. She reported that she feels great when her teachers are proud of her. She also reported enjoying working for Edibles, having good work displayed, receiving a good note home, and making things like preparing food, slime, time on her iPad, and fidgets. Additionally, she explained that she likes working to be the teacher's helper and spending time with preferred staff and friends. So the task list items that were demonstrated for this case study include review records and available data at the onset of the case, determine the need for behavioral analytics services, describe the common functions of problem behavior, interpret functional assessment data, define and provide examples of positive and negative reinforcement contingencies, establish operational definitions of behavior, distinguish among direct, indirect, and product measures of behavior, measure occurrence, and interpreting graphed data. And this is my reference for when I talked about the common features of Smith-Magenis syndrome. Thank you.